guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, let me introduce myself. My name is Mari, and before I start, I want to say thank you for clicking on this video. If this is your first time here, I hope you find this video useful and entertaining as well, and I hope if you like this video, I hope you consider subscribing to my channel. Rejection is a noun that's part of life. Yes, I have gotten rejected. That's not a shocker, right? I'm sure everyone has at one point in their lives. Maybe you just don't know what I'm talking about because you're Beyonce. I'm sure Beyonce has. I don't know. Go watch TMZ. Oh, me? I would take rejection personally. It made me question my self-worth because I didn't have the right tools to understand what was happening and why it hurt the way that it hurt, which led me to want to change that. I wanted to change that for myself. So, because I didn't like feeling that way. Which is the reason why this video exists and it's out there and you're watching it. Like right now we're like looking to each other, like, because breaking it down psychologically helped me understand why it hurt the way that it did and what I could do about it. I'll also talk about research that was done with an online game and it might help you feel better, but let's get to that later, okay? So we can all agree that rejection is painful, right? Rejection is painful and it can also be damaging because we process someone else's expression, words, choice, and actions to mean something drastic about ourselves. There are so many layers to this experience. It resurfaces old wounds and old stories about ourselves, fears and hopelessness. Our worthiness usually gets tied in and it can feel like you're just being swallowed into this entire experience. One of the reasons why this happens is because some of us have subconsciously carried this rejection root right from when we were children. So what happens, right? Let's talk about it. First, it's important to know that the relationship we have with the primary parent figures sets the foundations. Oh my god. Okay, I need to move the table. First, it's important to know that the relationship we have with our primary parent figures sets the foundations of all the relationships we're going to have as an adult. And that's going to be very important. And that plays a very important role. So as young humans growing up in our environment, if our caregivers prioritize other things, unhealthy or healthy, above our relationship with them, we then took this to mean that, hey, we are not important to them. So our inner child then believes that we are not valuable enough to be prioritized and be given the love that we really desire. And so this creates our first rejection wound and becomes our first example of our self-worth. As you guys can see, how this creates a very subtle belief that we are not worthy enough, therefore depreciating our self-worth. Growing up, the ego is constantly trying to prove our worth to others by being valuable, attractive, and lovable, and etc, etc, etc. And so when we get rejected, it triggers that wound and it pokes at the trauma and says, hey, there it is. There's that little sign that you're not lovable. There's that little sign that means you're not worthy. It becomes a schema. A schema is a cognitive framework or concept that helps organize and interpret information. These mental frameworks also cause us to exclude pertinent information to focus instead only on things that confirm our pre-existing beliefs and ideas. This doesn't only show up when you're getting rejected, it spreads out in different areas of your life and you're probably suffering from those areas too. When we get rejected, oftentimes we put the blame on the person who rejected us, blaming them and resenting them for the pain that we felt. And maybe they did say or did something that was very hurtful, and that's not cool. I'm not saying that it's okay for them to do that, like, no. But for the most part, the truth is that they are not the ones that caused it. They are simply the ones who made us relive the pain of it by triggering that rejection wound. We are social beings, and when we are young, our sense of identity comes from our perception of our environment. So because of this age, we don't have a developed prefrontal cortex. Our brain cannot distinguish what's rational or not, good or bad or socially acceptable, and etc, etc. If this belief is not disconfirmed or healed, this wound of not feeling prioritized or rejected follows us, following us and telling us that we will only be worthy if we are finally loved and worthy to another person. Thus, our emotional expression and balance is now attached to the person that we're trying to get approval from. It's a long list. So what can we do? Just because we are part of this experience and we're struggling with schemas that we have, this doesn't mean that we're forever stuck in this pattern. Our future is not forever engraved in the stone. Our mind and our body can learn these tools, and that's really amazing. I will make a video dedicated to that and get it more into detail, like the science behind that. But now we have this responsibility that sits on our shoulders, or wherever you're letting it sit, because the process of healing is needed to grow our internal security and release the attachment of our word to others people's actions. Basically, to take back your power. Take back what you gave to someone else to take care of for you. Because it belongs to you. They have their own responsibilities and their own worries. We don't know what that looks like, but everyone suffers. We are more alike than we are different. Yeah, I believe that. Also, the fact that how people treat you is a reflection of how they feel about themselves. Let's talk about the role we play as social creatures. Have you guys heard of the cyberball paradigm? Let's talk about it. I actually learned this in one of my psychology courses. It was in my human sexuality class. So let's back up a little bit. So there was a group of scientists who investigated the experience of social exclusion and the pain of rejection using a virtual ball game called, you guessed it, cyberball. There are 3 players in this game, 1 participant and 2 virtual players. The game is simple, you just pass the ball to the other person. At first, the game progresses normally, with the participant and the 2 virtual players passing the ball happily between them. But at some point in the game, the 2 virtual players stop passing the ball to the participant, so let's pretend you're the one that's playing, and they stop passing the ball to you. In this experiment, participants were told that the other participants were either members of one's own group, own political party, a rival out-group opposing political party, and a despised out-group, the KKK. So these were the 4 common feelings that were recorded: lower sense of belonging, less in control, lower self-esteem, and less certain in the meaningfulness of their existence. And so they found out that it didn't matter who was ignoring you. Either it was your own party, the other party, or the KKK. It didn't matter. It didn't matter because it hurt the same. Because rejection hurts and social pain is real pain. I think it's safe to say that although we would not like to care when we get rejected, we are human first and we are social creatures, so it's in our system to care. It all comes down to how our mind and our body react. If the impact that it has on us is healthy or unhealthy. And when it comes to healing, we can't just expect it to be done in one time and just be done with it. This goes to healing in general. It's not a destination that you cross one time and there you win. It's about learning how to guide yourself to get to that destination again and again, and ta-da! This is where therapy comes into place, and it can be very helpful. And there's a lot of great books on Amazon that are really good for this. Like one of the books I'm reading that talks about that. Currently, I'm reading this book. It's called Self-Compassion. The most challenging parts of the relationship with ourselves are often revealed in the depth of rejection. And in that, there's an opportunity to get curious. Be who you needed when you were younger, and be who you need right now. And consider subscribing to my channel if you like this video, and if you find this video helpful. I hope it does, and I hope it just guides you to the next step that you need to take on your life and your mental health. And yeah, please take care of yourself, and I will take care of me. Let's go walk my dog.